Okay, welcome back. Here we will solve the delete student. Delete student is very close to what we have done for searching, because first we need to ask the user what they want to delete. So we will do that. So we'll say let's say delete student with open and read. We ask them the student they want to delete, so the delete ID. Okay, and they will give us this ID, and what we need to do is we need to open this file. Before we then we need to read all the data that we have inside that file. So we'll say file.read. Okay, now once we do that, what happened is that we have taken all the data inside here and we saved it inside a variable called data. Now we can open the file again for writing. Okay, we can open the file again for writing, but this time it will be W. And as soon as we put W, what happens to the file is the file becomes empty because we are overwriting it because of the W. Okay. Alright, here we will now start to loop through. Okay, we'll try to loop through the data that we have, which this data, by the way, contains all students' data is saved here. Now we will open the file again, and here we will create a count. Okay, or line count, line count, or let's just say count. And our count, we started with 1. Why I need this count is I want to count. I want to say 1, 2, 3. Then I have to say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This way I know that each time I reach 3, I read a record. Okay, so that's why I am having this count. Okay, now let's create a for loop. I'll say for line, okay, in data dot split lines. What's gonna happen here? I will split this data into multiple lines, okay? And I'm gonna read line by line. Now the first time, if my count is 1, what does it mean? It means I am in the first line. So, and the first line always contains what? It contains the ID of the user. So I'm gonna say ID equals to line. Okay. So what about if it's the second line? elif. If count is 2. If count is 2, it means we are reading the name. So name equals to the line that you read again. How about if count equals to 3? It means we read the last one, which is the grade. Okay, so grade equals to line. All right, and that's it. Now if elif, okay, count equals to 3, it means we read the grade. And at this stage is when we will decide either to skip or to write this record, okay, into the file. So if we are deleting, we should not write this record if it is the record they want to delete. So how do I know if this is the record they want to delete? The first thing is I need to say I need to compare, and I can compare it the same way I was comparing for the search. And in the search, this is what I did. I said if this, right? So I'm going to do the same thing. If, so we have to check if id.strip equals to the delete id.strip. If they are the same, what should we do? Or if they are not equal, if the ID, okay, that we just read is not the same, if the ID we read is not the same okay, as the delete ID, then that means this record is not to be deleted. So we need to write this record. So we'll say file.write, and then we write the whole record. And we have actually something for writing, which we did here, of writing the name, the grade, and the ID. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'll come here and say, go ahead and write these three things. Okay, the name, because this name I don't want to delete it basically. If this is not the one we're supposed to delete, we will just write it. So we'll say file.write, and then we write the ID. No need to write this. And then I'm gonna write the grade, and I'm going to write the name. Okay. All right. So that's it. If you want, okay, and now we have the ID, the name, and uh, the grade written to the file. Okay, but let's say we continue like this, and once we finish this loop, we want to know actually if this student really existed or not. And the way we know it is that by writing here found equals to false. So in the beginning we'll say we found the student to false, and then if this is the case, then we still did not found him. Otherwise we found the student, right? Which means the ID will be the same as the one they want to delete. So we found the student. So we'll say found, else we'll say found equals to true, because we found that student that we wanted to delete. And we can also print student successfully deleted, okay, and that's it. Or even you don't need this, you could say else student success, oh no, sorry, you can say found equals to true, you can say student successfully deleted. Now if we finish the whole thing and we never executed this, we can again go out of the for loop here and say if found, then you could say if not found, okay, which is, then you can now print student with ID X does not exist. Okay, so the student does not exist. Okay, if not found, then student does not exist, which means we could not find this student actually, because it never became true. Okay, so if it never became true, then we did not find the student, and we will print student does not exist. Okay, so that's it. This is the delete, how we implement the delete. And just to summarize, first let's run it, and then we will check if our delete is working, then we can talk about it. Okay, first of all, we need to copy this delete and paste it in our choice. So here it says delete a student here, and let's put this delete student there, and new line, and let's just go to the delete. Here it's asking us for a student. Okay, that's very good, and that's very good. Okay, now we can run it again, our application, and let's check now. Okay, in our application we select first of all the display 2. These are the Queen, Young, and we have this students, 5 students. We can now delete this student with ID 1004, and we can also open it here. Let's try to delete this last student which has the ID 1005. Okay, so to delete you need to select 7 and then please enter the student ID 1005, and it deleted everything. And this is a problem for us. Why is it a problem? Because it means none of this has ever executed. Okay, if id.strip not equals to delete.strip, it was not writing actually the ID, the name, and the grade. And this happened because of a very silly, simple mistake, which was we were never incrementing the counter. Okay, so let me press undo to bring back my students, and the only thing that was missing, and this was in here in the loop, you have to always, of course, increment the counter. Okay, so count plus equals to 1, and that was it. So I should increment the count all the time. However, each time I reach 3, I need to reset the count. Okay, so the count has to go back to again 0. Okay, so the count has to go back to 0, then count is incremented by 1, and then it continues like this. It reads first line, second line, third line. Third line we make it 0 again, and then we will go back and do the process again. I think now it should work, the deleting process. Let's try again. Hopefully run. Code is already running. Let's put 8 and then run. Run again. Code language not supported. What is happening here? Sorry, I have to be at this to run it. It's a little bit late, that's why. And let me put the students file here, and let's delete this quan guy. Here we put delete, which is 7, and we put quan 1005, and quan is deleted. You see, yen, you want to delete yen, you can delete yen. His ID is 1004. Put 7, and then put 1004, and yen is gone. Okay, so that's it. This is how you delete stuff, and the last one is exit. Okay,